some governments, Arab governments, countered by establishing satellite channels with programs similar to ours in format, but the substance was of lesser quality, as they lacked the wide margin of freedom in which Al Jazeera was operating. The one channel developed into a network. The mother channel developed into a network with several channels. Al Jazeera Sports, Al Jazeera Documentary, Al Jazeera Direct, Al Jazeera English, Al Jazeera Center for Training and Development, Al Jazeera.net in Arabic and English, and Al Jazeera Center for Research and Studies. Because of realization of the extent of the new media landscape created by the new platforms coming into play in delivering information and communication, we embarked on a project we called Al Jazeera, or Al Jazeera, and the second E in capital letters, with multi-platforms, TV, internet, mobile phones, and other devices. And with our multi-channel network, we want to be able to speak to audiences and to interact with them anytime, to connect to those who are enabled to click to e-bank, to e-pay, e-shop, e-distribute, e-learn, and the list of E's is lengthening all the time. As we share, play, view, update, invite, compare, tag, consult, message, conference, socialize, and so on for almost every aspect of daily living. We, of course, need to adapt to the new changes, not only to preserve our role as a leading media network in the Middle East, but also to provide a service as comprehensively relevant as possible to the needs of our customers. I hope that this was an informative introduction of Al Jazeera's past and future thinking. Now I turn to our main subject with the hope that I shall not have talked too much to you. This is not going to be an academic paper as such, but a personal contemplation of the state of human rights, including the right to information and communication within the Mediterranean partnership. A look at the Mediterranean geopolitical map will not miss the divide which this greatest of Earth's seas has created. There is no denying that we have a south and a north, each distinctive in its own ways: the culture, the economic, and the socio-political. But however wide the gap is, and however deep the differences are, the countries on both flanks, collectively and individually, have been interacting with each other in war and peace for many centuries. This may raise the question what has to do with the subject which we are here to discuss. I think it has a lot, because having the right to information and communication without the means to receive and or transmit the knowledge is basically a useless right, in my view. The richer, more scientifically and technologically advanced north of the Mediterranean can afford the cost and it has the institutions and constitutions which can nourish this and other human rights, whose Universal Declaration 62nd anniversary we should be celebrating on the 10th of this month. This much has been recognized or implied in the 1995 Declaration of Barcelona and the setting up of the Barcelona process that made respect of human rights one of its tenets. The much-quoted Article 19 is an appropriate reference point enshrining the right to information and communication, and communicating it within the context of freedom of expression. But if we have no means, no medium to access information, whether by seeking or receiving it, our right to do so becomes almost irrelevant. It is obvious that countries of the southern flank are much behind their northern counterparts in all fields relating to this issue, whether the political, cultural, or means of delivery. They do not have the wherewithal in material and moral terms, although adherence and observation of human rights is a matter of degree, regardless of resources. There may be common obstacles on both sides of the sea, and perhaps common grounds on related issues. Yet, one cannot escape the feeling that the technological edge will tilt the balance in favor of the North. Although the scene there may not be completely free from problems which hinder a full application of the human right to information and to communication. We are aware, I think all of us agree, that communication lies in the heart of human society, as it is an intrinsic trait of humanity since the creation of Adam and Eve, the parents of man, the social animal. Without communication, no civilization would have developed, and no development in any sphere of life would have given the human race the knowledge and the wealth of cultural diversity it is enjoying now. At this juncture, I think there is a feeling that the Mediterranean Southerners inevitably see the Mediterraneanism of the Northerners, to coin a phrase, as an extension of the Western, or at least the European whole, by default, merely in cultural and political terms, including media. The Southerners seem to wait for the initiative to come from the North, as if to revive the hegemony of the colonial spirit. With the Barcelona process, hopes were raised and expectations became high among the tens of millions who have been deprived of their human and civil rights for decades, suffering under undemocratic regimes. But can one read in the creation of the Union for the Mediterranean last year an admission of failure of the process? Have we seen any improvement in respect to human rights? Were there indications, indications on less arrest of journalists, human rights activists, torture, arrest of political activists, media censorship, and in any other manifestations of dictatorial regimes of government in the Mediterranean South?